Hey everybody, welcome back to Red Mug Music. I hope you're doing well today. I'm glad that you're able to hang out with me today. I'm going to talk about a brand new album that came out Friday on the 18th by a guy you may have heard of called Paul McCartney, and the album name is McCartney III. There was almost no notice whatsoever, like nobody knew that this album was coming out. I don't even think Paul McCartney knew this album was going to come out. Actually, he had worked on a lot of material at home while he was on lockdown, and was just doing it for fun and having a good time with it. And lo and behold, boom, McCartney III. Before I go on, I want to mention my sponsor, which is Holly Carter, who is the senior vacation consultant with a great company called The Magic for Less. I'll talk about her a little bit later. McCartney III wasn't even on Apple Music. I'm trying to remember how I even knew it was out there. It was probably not even a week before it's released on Friday that I actually heard about the album for the first time. So this is going to be Paul McCartney's 18th solo album. And this album serves as a continuation of his two other eponymous solo albums, which is McCartney. You can see it back there, that came out in 1970, and not so famous McCartney II, which came out in 1980. Actually, I want to do it some justice, and I want to tell you about this McCartney II, if I can find it. Now, McCartney II had songs, just in case you're not familiar with it, called Coming Up. Waterfalls, very popular song. And just trying to find some here that you would know. I was thinking, oh yeah, here's Wonderful Christmas Time. It must be on an expanded version. And one of my favorite songs to listen to is actually Temporary Secretary. It wasn't so great. It had a lot of futuristic sounds on it, and Temporary Secretary is actually it's kind of annoying. I'll just say it. But don't get me wrong, Paul McCartney is one of my favorite artists of all time. And he's my favorite Beatle due to his exceptional vocals, his exceptional ability to harmonize. I think he made a lot of these John Lennon songs just from the harmony alone. I know, like Come Together. Listen to that one, and imagine that song without Paul McCartney at all. It wouldn't be as good. And his ability to play every instrument. Now, like Paul McCartney and Paul McCartney II, on Paul McCartney III, he does play every instrument. He's singing all the voices. He's producing it. I mean, he did the whole thing from beginning to end. And like I said, he did this album during lockdown, and at first it was just for fun. And he had a lot of fun with this album because it wasn't intended to be released. So he was just doing what he wanted to do. So it's interesting, imagine you're Paul McCartney and you've pretty much achieved anything and everything musically that you can achieve or would want to achieve. I mean, this guy is like one of the top, musical performers ever to exist, and probably to ever exist. And apparently, with the recording of this album, thinking that he wasn't going to release it, it still gave him a lot more freedoms than he would have felt like he had if he would have known it was going to be for us to hear. And I love this about this album because it's Paul McCartney at his core. It's as Paul McCartney as Paul McCartney is, and not who Paul McCartney thinks you need to hear. This is real Paul McCartney, and it's good. It's really, really good. So I think Paul McCartney III shows off Paul's musical ability. It's at its best. It's absolutely fantastic, and this is definitely a lost art of being able to, in the industry, the music industry, of being able to go in and play all the instruments and it be actual instruments. I mean, what happened is Paul, he would take live takes of him singing and playing guitar or piano, and then he would go back and add in overdubs of him playing bass, of him playing drums, and any other instrument that he decided to do, and he built it that way. I read that on paulmccartney.com. And of course, like I said, in the first track, the live track would be him singing. Then he would do overdubs of him singing backup. And it's just a phenomenal album. I don't know if you can tell from my excitement. This is I have listened to this. It came out yesterday, and I probably have already heard it 12 times. I would say 12 times. So again, he's my favorite Beatle because I think he brought the most to the Beatles, and especially his ease of writing a song. Actually, Paul McCartney was he was working with David Grohl on that Sound City Reel to Reel album that David Grohl did with all these different performers. I would definitely check that out. I'll put a link down below to that album. It is phenomenal. I listen to that all the time. So Dave invited Paul McCartney to come in to record a song with previous members of Nirvana, and the song was called "Cut Me Some Slack." And after they were done, I guess it just went so easy. It was this. It was a very easy process. Paul McCartney, kind of spearheaded it, and at the end, David Grohl was like, "I wish it was always this easy." And Paul McCartney just quickly says, "It is." And I mean, all Dave Grohl could do was just throw his hands up in the air. It's like, oh my God, it's apparently it's not easy, but to Paul it is. But this album shows so much energy and so many different moods and this large array of diverse sounds. And even though Paul's voice has aged, it's still magnificent, and his falsetto is absolutely on point. So while the entire album is fantastic, I think some of my favorites are "The Kiss of Venus," "Find My Way," "Pretty Boys," "Lavatory Lil," and those are the standouts. And my favorite is the very last song on the album, which is called "Winterbird When Winter Comes." This is like the perfect Paul McCartney for me. I love when he does this kind of music. And in comparison, just because I can, to one in McCartney II and McCartney III, even though one had Maybe I'm Afraid and some really good stuff on there, I really think McCartney III is the best of the three. It's that good. It's just, even though he's sitting at home or he's just doing this all by himself, he's definitely learned the trade really well. So this is by far the best of the three. If I were to pick my favorite between the three, it would be that one. But anyway, back to my sponsor. I'm sponsored by Holly Carter, which is a senior vacation consultant with a great company called The Magic for Less Travel. If you're ready to go to Disney, or if you're ready to go to Universal and you want to start getting some free quotes, this is the perfect time to do it. Um, I'm actually going to Disney in 2 days. So we have to wear a mask, but I don't find it to be a big deal. I've already been to Disney once this year and Universal twice. It's no problem. So you can scan the QR code and it'll take you to a place where you can get a free quote. It won't cost you anything at all, and you can find out if that's something you're ready to do. But give yourself and give your family something to look forward to, because we deserve it. Well, that's going to be it for this week. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me. Again, my Instagram is at Red Mug Music, and my website is redmugmusic.com. And don't forget to subscribe. I think I've got about 15% of my viewers are actually subscribed. Go ahead and subscribe, click on the bell. So you're going to be the first one to find out whenever a new video comes out. And like I said, I'm going to try to find great music and get it out to you. So just stay in touch so you have access to all that good stuff. So again, that's it for me this week. I'll see you guys next time.